Hi, and welcome to In the Locker Room, the Goulburn Valley Reserves football show. I'm Josh Evans. This is a part of the Super Saturday Sports Show that you can listen to as to keep up to date with all things happening in the Reserves competition of the Goulburn Valley League. This show airs on a weekly basis on a Saturday throughout winter on 1FM Shepparton Radio. So let's listen in to see what they have got up to this week.
Okay, talking about memories. This isn't a memory. This is going on, of course, at around midday today. We're in the reserves, of course, at the GoTAFE Goulburn Valley Football League. We're in the locker room, and we're going to have a look at what happened in round 5 last week of the reserves. And Euroa defeated Benalla 12-11-83 to 3-10-28. That was at Memorial Oval. Mansfield at the Mansfield Rec. They had a forfeit to Shepparton, forfeited in the reserves. They've had the forfeit, Shepparton, the last couple of weeks, so that was a forfeit game there. United at Deakin, 3-11-29, Echuca 14-9-93. Like I said, they're going so well across all divisions of course, the under-18s, reserves and seniors at the moment, and even in the A-grade netball as well. They've just got guns everywhere at Echuca, both football and netball. Great players on both sides for Echuca. Fantastic organisation, the Echuca Footy Club. My mum barracks for them. They've got to be a great organisation. Seymour, 10-10-70 to Kai Abrams, 8-6-54. That was at Kings Park. If you're wondering why my mum, by the way, barracks for Echuca and lives in Shepparton, it's because she was a nurse at the Echuca Hospital for a decade. Tatura, 15-11-101 to Rochester's 4-5-29 in the reserves last week. That was at Tat Park. And Mooroopna, that was the reserve late game at 4 p.m. last week. The seniors had a night game at 6 p.m. This is at the Mooroopna Rec. Mooroopna in the reserves, 12-15-87 to the Swans, 4-5-29. So now we'll go on into today's games. And today's games will get underway basically from midday onwards this afternoon. That's all games. It looks like all the night games are done now for at least this next little while in the GoTAFE Goulburn Valley Football League. Of course, we're heading in the winter in some 23 days from now, 22 days, 23 days, take your pick, 22 and a half. Of course, today, let's have a look at it. And Shepparton take on Seymour today. And look, Shepparton have had the forfeit the last 2 weeks, so I'm not sure what will happen today in relation to that at Deakin Reserve. Let's hope that Shepparton can field a side. Seymour defeated Kai in round 5. Paul Solomon's been lighting it up in the reserves. Of course, we've seen him in the seniors across the journey, haven't we? He's kicked 10 goals this season and in 3 games this season in the reserves. And he's probably one of the better one-on-one players I've seen in the competition across the journey. Paul Solomon is an absolute gun footballer for Seymour. Harley Taylor-Lloyd, of course, we know about him winning premierships at Nagambie. 4 games this season, has managed to kick 9 goals. He kicked 2 last week. So Seymour are pretty good. They lie third currently with the 3-1 record. Of course, Shepparton have had the forfeit a few games, but let's hope that Shepparton get a side on the park this afternoon. Euroa play the Swans. That is at Memorial Oval, so they're hosting 2 weeks in a row. Euroa defeated Benalla in the reserves in round 5. Matthew Ivel kicking 3 goals. That brings him up till 6 to the season. And Zach Gleeson probably getting the 3 Abacare medal votes last week. And when I say that, he was best amongst the coaches' votes, so that's why I've sort of marked that in as maybe 3 Abacares to Zach Gleeson. We'll find out, won't we, come September, when we have, of course, the Morrison Medal Night. And, of course, Mooroopna, played the Swans last week, and, of course, this is Euroa and the Swans, and Mooroopna defeated the Swans last week by 58 points. But for the Swans, Caden Pogue was best to field, and that was for the Swans. And Charlie Hill was pretty good. First game from the reserves. He played 4 senior games heading into that first game in the reserves. He was very good in the reserves by all reports last week. Tried really hard for the Swans, even though they got beaten. Kyabram Benalla Kai Lyon, 5th spot, 2-2 record. Benalla in 6th spot. Of course, we're talking about the reserves, 3-1 record. I'll just check that. That doesn't sound right. We'll have a look at the ladder here. In fact, I take that back. Beg your pardon. Benalla in 7th spot, and they got the 3-2 record. And Kai are in 5th spot with a 2-2 record. So, yeah. So that doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, I'll keep going. But last week, Seymour defeated Kyabram by 17 points in round 5. And Bill McClay was best for Kyabram. And Sean Dillon's been trying really hard this season in the reserves as well for Kai. Euroa defeated Benalla by 55 points last week. They were all single goal kickers, but Jack Spinks and Reed Bonnet tried really hard for the reserves, the Benalla Saints. Love their new strip, by the way. It's a ripping strip. Nice colours, those teal colours there. And, of course, they're usually known as the Saints. Rochester, they lie in 11th spot currently, Norton 5 record. Marupna with line 4th with the 3-2 record. And Rochi were defeated by Tatura by 72 points last week. That's in the reserves, of course. Charlie Taylor tried hard, and Seamus Henderson's been trying really hard there for Rochi. Marupna, they defeated the Swans by 58 points. Jamie Formica, 3 goals, 6 this season in 5 games. So he's kicked 6 goals in 5 games this season. And Lockie O'Brien, 2 goals, was probably BOG last week for, of course, Marupna in their big 58-point win over the Swans. Tatura in 7th spot. Well, Echuca in 6th spot. This has jumped about a bit from when I done it on Monday. So Tatura in 6th spot with a 3-2 record. And United are now in 8th spot with a 2-3 record. So Tatura defeated Rochi back in round 5 by 72 points. That was at the Kennel. They're hosting 2 weeks in a row at Tat Park. Not forgetting that's our broadcast game for the seniors. Tat taking on United this afternoon. Tat United. So Jaden Armstrong for Tat was pretty good last week with his 4 goals and has been good in both reserve games he's played this season. Bryce Wellington was pretty good with 3 goals. He's kicked 11 goals in the reserves this season for Tatura. And United, Jared Newman was best. He kicked a goal last week. They went down to Echuca at Deakin by some 66 points. Mason Irvine tried hard for United as well. And in the final game, we have Echuca taking on Mansfield. Well, 5-0, top of the tree, no mistaking that there. They won last week at Deakin. Echuca defeated United in the reserves. Jack Tenace kicked 3 goals. He's kicked 21 this season. Of course, he's an under-18 premiership player at, of course, Echuca. And Jordan Florence kicked 3 goals. He's kicked 6 goals in 2 games he's played this season. And Ben Fulford, I should say, beg your pardon, 3 goals. He's kicked 5 goals in 2 games this season in the reserves. And Mansfield last week, well, they had the forfeit game against Shepparton. While I'm on premiership players too, Brodie Webster, I said during the Go Tafe Golden Valley Football League report, played in the senior premiership at Benalla. He actually didn't. I looked it up. I wasn't sure, and he actually didn't. He might have been too young for that particular premiership. But anyway, I'm sure Brodie Webster would take it. Mansfield had the forfeit against Shepparton last week in the reserves. Will Christopher has been going really well for Mansfield, and Will Cox has been trying really hard for, of course, the Mansfield Football Club in the reserves. Both players have been hitting the scoreboard in the reserves, so yeah, very interesting to see. So we'll go through my selections for today as we go to round 6. And we will go for today as we have a look at it. I reckon I'll go for Rochi maybe I'll go for Marupna. I won't go for Rochi. I'll go for Marupna to beat Rochi at home. I'll go for Seymour if the game gets underway against Shepparton. Just footnoting there that Shepparton could forfeit. They have the last couple of weeks in the reserves. Let's hope they get a side together at Deakin today. It would be great to see in front of their home fans. Euroa take on the Swans, and this will be a very interesting clash. I'm thinking Euroa in that particular game. Kyabram take on Benalla. Another very interesting game. I'll go for the Kai Bombers just at home. Tat take on United at Tat Park. That'll be close as well. I reckon maybe, when I say reckon, don't I sound terrible saying reckon on radio? Gee, that's the Olympic Avenue in me. Stats man, get on with it. Serial killer of the Queen's English. Tatura will beat United, I think, just in the reserves. And Echuca should account for Mansfield on the Port of the Murray this afternoon. Well, that's it. Well, not really. We'll go through, actually, before, it's not quite it for the reserves, the locker room report. I'll just go quickly through the goal kickers, just to update you there. Leading goal kickers at the moment, Jack Tenace, 21 goals. I can tell you he definitely played in that under-18 premiership a couple of years ago. Bryce Wellington, Tatura's on 11 goals. Dylan Burns of Tatura on 11 goals. So they got some guns up forward. Philip Solomon, we all know about him from the seniors. 10 goals. Of course, he played a bit of senior football. Like I said, he's probably one of the better one-on-one players in the competition. Always nearly wins when he's one-on-one with his opponent. Harley Taylor-Lloyd, of course, they call him HTL, don't they? Out Seymour Way, former Nagambie player. He's on 9 goals. And just going through your ladder, you should say, stats man. Don't sound like I'm on the BBC, do I? But anyway, now it's time for the shipping report. Do you remember when they used to say that on the BBC? Maybe you've never listened to the BBC. Here's the reserves ladder. Echuca on top, 5-zip. Euroa second, 4-1. Seymour third, 3-1. That's 3 wins, 1 loss. Marupna in fourth with 3 wins and 2 losses. Kyabram fifth, 2-2 record. Tatura in sixth with the 3-2 record. And if you're wondering why some sides have played more than others, it's because there's been forfeits and whatnot as well. So your top 6 are Echuca, Euroa, Seymour, Marupna, Kyabram, Tatura. That's in the reserves. Outside the top 6, we have Benalla in 7th, United in 8th, Mansfield in 9th, the Swans in 10th, Rochi in 11th, and Shepparton with a couple of forfeits. They've played a couple of games, had a couple of forfeits as well. They're in 12th spot currently. So that is now officially a wrap of course, the reserves. Of course, what a great competition it is. Not forgetting, of course, back in 2019, Seymour were the grand final winners. Echuca were the runners-up in 2019. And, of course, Seymour lie third in their premiership defence, and Echuca undefeated after being beaten in the 2019 grand final, looking to go one better in 2021. So that is officially a wrap for the reserves competition in the locker room. We'll do it all again next week from about 9:20 in the morning onwards.
Housel Honda is now Shepparton Motorcycles and Power Equipment. Operating from the same location with the same commitment and passion to customer service and the local community that you have come to expect from Juddy and the team. Shepparton Motorcycles and Power Equipment is still Shepparton's home to Honda motorcycles, side-by-sides and power equipment. For sales, service, advice and apparel, call into our store on Benalla Road. Shepparton Motorcycles and Power Equipment. LMCT 11819.
1FM sponsor.
Donuts. Donuts. Did someone say donuts? Who doesn't love a donut? Donuts and coffee on the go at Donut A Go Go on Vaughan Street in Shepparton. Watch your cinnamon donuts cooked freshly in front of you. All of our donuts are made fresh daily. Yummy local roasted coffee. And if coffee's not your thing, try our icy cold shakes and iced chocolates. Eat in or take away, and we also cater for special occasions. Pop in today to Donut A Go Go, Vaughan Street, Shepparton, near the Corio Street roundabout. Find us on Facebook.
Station sponsor.
You know the garden could do with a makeover, so what are you waiting for? Cleve's Garden Supplies have got everything you need to get the job done, and they're open 7 days a week. Coloured mulches, decorative pebbles, river stones, crushed rocks, sands, gravel, sleepers, topsoils, pavers, you name it, they've got it. They'll deliver small loads and big loads straight to your door. Drop in and see them at 20 Wanganui Road, Shepparton, or give them a call. 58212 111. That's 58212 111. 1FM sponsor.
Pat and Tina's BP service station North Shepparton has been serving people living in and visiting our region for now more than 50 years. There's no other place you can still experience driveway service, delivered with a smile, the old-fashioned way. Supplier of BP Ultimate Fuels, they will wash your windows, check under your bonnet, and even do your tyres while you wait. Next time you're filling up, do it at Pat and Tina's BP service station, GV Highway, North Shepparton.
1FM sponsor.
If you have enjoyed the show, then please let us know what you think at our socials. 1FM Super Saturday Sport on Facebook and Twitter, and tune in from 8am next week to find out more. Till next week, goodbye.